Welcome, everybody. Friday noon in sunny Florida, even though it's cold. Another week, another subject, another Amrit method of Yoga Nidra experience. And whether you're watching now or you're watching the replay, I always love to know where you are. Probably because I spent most of my life just traveling around, living in different countries. And I think it's a wonderful way to truly see how much of the world we're exposed to on a day-to-day, month-to-month basis. When we travel, we see really how it brings us into perspective of really how, in some ways, insignificant we are. You know, even looking at the full moon. My wife shared last night she watched the full moon rise over the ocean, and how it really does bring into perspective that we are dots on a planet traveling at high speed along with a lot of other planets. And our lifespan is so short in relationship to all of that perspective. But before I go too much further into my subject of insanity, let's take a moment and center ourselves. And the most vital aspect of centering is to reconnect to the relaxation response in the body. Because that's where it all happens. And we want to spend as much time throughout the day in the relaxation response so that we might be able to be present for the wonder of life. And now just giving yourself permission to connect with the breath and to let go of all of the thinking that came before, knowing that you can pick it up again afterwards, and just allow yourself to be present, to let go of that which you no longer need, and to make more room for abundance, joy, gratitude. And we give thanks. Tara, lovely to see you. And Wayne, lovely to see you as always. And I use a PowerPoint, and I'm not exactly, a superstar when it comes to PowerPoints, but I love the, and I'm going to learn how to do a little bit of a better job. But if you don't read it, if you just listen, that's cool. If you read it, is the font big enough? All that kind of question mark. So I was reading this morning, my dear friend Emmett Fox, and it was very apropos. So I thought I would share it with you. And let's go. What you think upon grows. This is an Eastern maxim. It's interesting, the terminology. I mean, so this was written probably 100 years ago, and Eastern philosophy hadn't necessarily reached all the way over to America to a great degree, certainly not as available as it is today. And welcome, Suzanne. And it sums up neatly the greatest and most fundamental of all laws of mind. This is what he said. And there were thousands of people that would come and listen to this man talk. What you think upon grows. Whatever you allow to occupy your mind will magnify in your own life. What you allow to occupy your mind will magnify in your life. Whether the subject is good or bad, that's pretty scary. The law works and the condition grows. Any subject you keep out of your mind tends to diminish in your life because what you do not use atrophies. So it's a daily thing because if we don't use our mind to connect with presence, our connection with presence atrophies. In recovery, they talk about a renewing your connection every day. Otherwise, the connection diminishes. And as you become more and more connected and value the connection more and more, you're likely to want to connect throughout the day, not just once a morning. But it's a great way to start the day. Wouldn't you agree? Connecting with Source, with God, with presence, whatever word that aligns with you. The more you think about your grievances or the injustices that you have suffered, the more such trials you will continue to receive. You could call that the victim mentality. And the rationale is, but I deserve justice. They deserve justice. And there's a biblical expression of vengeance is mine, says the Lord. Can I give up my need and desire for vengeance or for retribution or for them to get what they deserve and move into the reality of what I have and gratitude? The more you think of good fortune, the good fortune you've had, the more good fortune will come to you. I like to think of that as gratitude for what I have, whether it be health, whether it be a relationship, whether it be eyesight or hearing or the ability to walk and breathe. They haven't figured out a way how to charge us to breathe yet. This is the basic fundamental law of mind, and actually all psychological and metaphysical teaching is little more than commentary upon this. What you think upon grows. So quantum physics, this is what this guy was into 100 years ago. What we think about grows. Well, a few more thousand years before that, they said, finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, honest, just, pure, lovely, of good report, if there be any virtue, think on these things. Think on these things. Well, we've been being seriously bombarded with a lot of negativity recently, but probably for years and years, just the subject matter changes, since the media seems to believe that bad news sells, keep us in a state of fear. And so we end up with an inverse relationship with our mind, with our thinking. We are bombarded externally by the fear that if I don't do what they want, something bad's going to happen. If I don't eat this or drink this or live here or wear this or do this kind of work, or have this kind of car. I'm not going to be good enough. I'm not going to be happy. And internally, we have our own issues of I'm not good enough. I'm not wanted. I'm not loved. I'm not pretty. I'm not attractive. I'm not strong enough. The list is endless. And all of those things keep us in conflict. And conflict means that we are engaging in the fear part of the nervous system. We are in chronic, low-level stress that we now believe to be normal. That is insanity. To be in a relationship with our mind where we do the bidding of the mind rather than the mind doing the bidding of us. And it can come down to very simple things I've shared before. I can be walking around the backyard, cutting the grass, and be in an argument with the HOA over the state of my lawn, or the next door neighbor over the state of the fence. And there's nobody around, just me. But I'm creating stress in my body. That's insane. That's really insane. It's a thinking problem. This whole insanity thing is a thinking problem. If we change our thinking and we change our actions, we change our character, our whole being changes, our presence changes, our relationship to ourself and our relationship to the people around us. It's all about letting go of what we've been taught and just being in our body, feeling right now. What are you feeling right now? To connect with the feeling, I had to connect to the breath, because the breath is the key to disconnecting from the mind. And remember, the mind itself is not bad. He or she is trying to keep you alive. It's the attachment to the persona that what I have come to believe as right or wrong, that's what I need to let go of. Now, I can hear the arguments here already. Yeah, but what about? What about? What about? What about? It's your ability to respond to the present moment that is hindered by your past experiences and beliefs, where you think you were, where you believe you were wronged, they were wrong, I didn't get what I needed. And it's the replaying of that in the mind that keeps us in stress. And while we're in stress, we're in fear. And while we're in fear, we're disconnected from presence. We're disconnected. But we're never really disconnected, theoretically, because we are it. It's always here. Presence is us. We are presence. Everything is presence. We are all presence. But when in the dynamic of the ego and the consciousness relationship, we're learning how to disengage from the part of our mind that keeps us in fear when there's nothing to fear. Amen, Craig. Hi, and Elise. So that's it. That's what growing up is. This is what I'm learning at my whatever age I am. It's my responsibility to be able to respond, which means I have to be able to receive what the world gives me without judgment. Now, I automatically go into judgment. That's the mechanism called survival, and that's okay. But once I become aware that I'm in judgment, then it is my responsibility, my free will, to choose to move out of judgment. Because judgment, deciding that the way they are is not right, or what they're saying is not right, or what they're doing is not right, and what I'm doing and what I'm thinking is not right or not good enough, all of these things debilitate my nervous system, debilitate my life force energy, and minimize my ability to be available for divine will manifesting through me. Would I rather be happy or be right? Here's an interesting thing. I heard this morning that we were talking about being able to see. And so he shared the story of a friend who had a stroke and lost 60% of his peripheral vision. So he can no longer see the same vision field that we have. Well, the Bible tells us we see life like looking through frosted glass. That's how much we have acquired in the way of filters and beliefs and rights and wrongs and me and mine and you and yours, and all of those things literally prevent us from being present in the moment. It was a great movie, Something Warrior. And it was all about just being present and seeing what's around me and seeing what feeling. It's so where did these changes take place? This changed my thinking. Well, one of the beautiful ways of doing it is through the practice of Yoga Nidra. And in particular, I want to recommend the Amrit method, which is what I use. If we change the thinking where there is no resistance, which is basically where Yoga Nidra is designed to take us, we go through the brainwave states down into the place where we disconnect from the mind. No mind. In this place, there is no conflict. There is no belief system. There is no Liam. He's neither asleep nor awake. He's neither healthy nor unhealthy. The mind doesn't know. In that place, we place our intention. Now, in the place of no mind, where I'm in union with consciousness, with presence, with God, because I am God, I'm made of God's stuff. God is us. And I use the intention, I'm at peace with myself. My mind's going to go, are you joking me? Do you know about this and this and this and this? And then my mind goes, yes, I am at peace with myself. Creating a neuronal pathway between the unconscious and the conscious, between no mind and mind. In the koshas, we talk about it in the bliss body, the closest to formless, our most translucent self, where all of this stuff is held. We are opening up the channel between conscious presence in our walking around state. And as we learn to disengage from the beta brain waves, which is the ego protecting survival mechanism and move into alpha, theta more and more, we start to have more access to superhuman. And I don't have a cape, and I'm not wearing any tight outfits, but the access to the thinking, to the intuition, to wisdom, all of this is accessible when we're in a relaxed state, and it's not accessible when we're wound up and stressed. That's why we say and do stupid things when we're anxious, angry, tired, lonely, hungry. This practice gives us the ability to change our lives while we're lying down, listening, and letting go. Key is letting go. And I know for some people that's really hard. I've led Yoga Nidra classes where people literally jumped up off the floor at the end because they couldn't lie still anymore. Mr. Boyce. They couldn't lie still. Their mind was too busy. So if that's you, that's okay. You just keep practicing. You don't learn to ride a bike the first time you get on a bike. But if you can let go, here's another interesting one. This was, what's her name? Eileen Caddy, the Scottish woman. I think she's English, actually. And her reading today was, are you ready to change your ideas and thinking? Can you believe it? This was probably written the 50s, so 70 years ago. Maybe she read Emmett's thing. Are you ready to change your ideas and thinking? Are you prepared to accept something new without reservation? Let go of, leave the debating society. We don't know. We know so little of what is going on around us and in us even. Some souls can be flexible and do it with the greatest of ease, but others have great difficulty and causes strain and stress in their lives or stagnation, which is almost as bad. You must be courageous and move forward in new ways, enter uncharted waters without any fear, because the mind, we're moving from this environment where we know, based on our past experience, what I like and what I don't like, and what I want and what I don't want, now what I want you to do and what I don't want you to do. And we're literally leaving that place of perceived comfort or stagnation. We're leaving that and we're moving into uncharted waters. And at some point, we lose sight of land. And we would call that fear. But that's just an energetic response that we can become comfortable with. Because he says, she says, I am guiding you. I will not let harm befall you. Accept me as your constant guide and companion. You've not been asked to move into uncharted waters without a pilot. I am your pilot. I will never let you down. Not me. The pilot inside. No mind. The still, small, quiet voice that we seek. Christ said, the kingdom of heaven is within. No mind. Consciousness. God. Divinity. Presence. Trust me completely. If the way is rough, be not afraid. If it's dangerous, don't be concerned. I will guide you through it all. But remember to let go. The letting go part is hard in the beginning because the physiology of the body, the mind of the body will resist. in yoga is called a binivesha. It's the fear of death. The physical fear of death is intelligent. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here. We'd have been run over by a car. But the mental fear of death is irrational. And the egoic mind thrives on fear, because if we have problems, then we have a reason to have the ego to help us survive. If we don't have problems, then the ego's like, well, what am I doing? Fear, yes. False evaluations appearing real. False evidence appearing real. It's by becoming willing. So here's the key, which we talk about each week. As we do move into letting go and the body moves into fear, there's a chemistry. And the chemistry of the body tells me I'm not safe, I need to leave. And the mind says, I'm not safe, I need to leave. And the only way you can move into that consciously is with your breath. You have to connect to the breath. And as you connect to the breath, you're telling the body's physiology you're safe. And you can be with the discomfort of the ego losing its grip on you in that moment. And then, as that dissipates, you have more available to be present for the wonder of this moment. The present. The present is the present. And it has a bow on it. Look for the bow. Look for the twinkle in the eye. Look for the glistening of the sky. Look for the leaves, the sun in the trees. Look for the colors. Feel. Feel. Be filled with gratitude. Joy is unmerited, unsourced wonder that just bubbles out of the heart. That's what you have to give to the world. Joy. And in that, it's expressed through everyone differently. Everyone has their own way of expressing joy into the world. And that's why we're all here. And that's why we're all needed. There are no mistakes. There is nobody here that shouldn't be here. And there was a thing that I read this morning that I wanted to share with you. It might be a little over the top, but let me get it. I'm going to get it for you. Hold on. This will take 2 seconds, because it's something that I think is just beautifully said. And it goes, just as God has the whole universe for his body, her, in the same way, the individual conscious being, as a contraction of universal awareness, consists of the entire universe in the microcosmic form. So we do the ocean and the wave, right? So we come out of the ocean into this wave form, but in that wave form, if you look at it from an energetic point, the energy is condensed into the wave, right? And what he's saying is in that condensation, what's happening is the entire universe is being condensed into that form, into you, into me, into the trees, into whatever it is. And within each of us, like the apple, the seed in the apple can grow an apple tree. Everything in the universe is also within us. There's an expression, as without, so within. As within the cosmos, so within us. The more we move inside, the bigger inside becomes. The kingdom of heaven is not a simple place. I think, much like what's going on externally, it's probably unfathomable. Try saying that in a hurry. It's infinite. It's infinite. It's worthy of our time and attention. And in return, Christ said, I will fill you with abundance. And he's not necessarily talking about cars and toys. David, boys, just for you. Hello, David. Welcome, mate. So we're going to have a Yoga Nidra experience. And the best way of doing this is lying down. The best way is to turn off your phone, or at least put off the ringer or the buzzer, put the pets away because they love you when you're in meditation and they want to crawl all over you. And know that if you become aware of internal movement of energy, like twitching or numbness or whatever, if you have to move, do it consciously. So I'm going to scratch my forehead rather than the unconscious distractions from feeling. Just know what you're doing. And when something externally distracts you, you just acknowledge it. There's somebody banging the door. Really, they started lawn the mower right now, whatever it is. Acknowledge it and then come back to whatever practice we're doing. You cannot do this wrong. So I highly encourage you to make a daily practice of it if you can. And if you can't, well, do it when you can. That's all. There's no right. There's no wrong. There's only presence. You are presence, and you're going to move more and more into presence and more into joy. And that's what we want. Where did I go with my thing here? There it is. Great. So as we start, see if you can remain as motionless as possible. But if you do need to move or make an adjustment, do so mindfully and return to stillness as soon as you can. Resolve to remain awake, staying in touch with the sound of my voice. Allow any disturbances, external or internal, to draw you more deeply within. In Yoga Nidra, you enter the subconscious energy field and go beyond the boundaries of body and mind. Now shift from thinking and doing to feeling and being. Let go of all thoughts, worry, and tension. Give yourself fully to a higher power within you. Relax, trust, and let go. Breathe in fully and exhale with a deep sigh. And again, breathe in fully and exhale with a deep sigh. Feel a deep sense of contentment and peace wash over you. Now bring your intention into your awareness. If you're unclear about your intention, just see what appears in your field of awareness. Repeat your intention silently 3 times. We will move into the body with lifting and dropping the limbs. Now lift the right leg a few inches off the floor as you continue to breathe. Hold, hold, hold. Exhale, release the leg to the floor. Feel heaviness flooding the leg. Lift the left leg a few inches off the floor, continuing to breathe as you hold, hold, hold. Exhale, release the leg. Let go completely, feeling heaviness flooding the leg. Tense and lift the buttocks, hips, and pelvis off the floor. Hold, hold, hold. Now let go. Feel the whole body letting go, surrendering to gravity. Now make fists and contract the arms until they lift off the floor, continuing to breathe. Hold, hold, hold. Now let go. Let go completely. Surrender to the field of gravity pulling you down. Sinking deeper and deeper. From that very relaxed state, follow my guidance as we begin the So-Hum breath. Now start breathing in through the nostrils and guide your breath and attention steadily from the third eye along the spine, ending at the base of the spine. As you exhale, guide your breath and attention upwards along the length of the spine to the third eye. Continue with this breath. Stay focused and feel the energy follow your attention along the spine. Now we will integrate this breath with the non-vocal sound of So-Hum. With each inhalation, feel the sound of So as the breath flows from the third eye to the base of the spine. And with each exhalation, feel the sound of Hum flowing up the base of the spine to the third eye. Remain totally absorbed in the subtle vibration of sound and energy moving along the spine. Sound, breath, sensation, and attention in complete synchronicity. Be deeply engaged, totally absorbed and completely merge into oneness. Totally engaged in the sacred presence of that I am. Now breathe normally. Bring your attention to rest in the third eye and bathe your whole body and being in the unified experience of Soham sound and breath. Feel your whole body lying still, safe and comfortable. Give yourself the permission to enter the deepest level of relaxation right now. Let go. Follow my guidance as we move through different parts of the body. Let your attention rest on each body part as I name it, without comment or judgment. All 10 toes, both ankles, both knees, pelvis, abdomen, chest, arms, throat, face, back of the head, shoulder blades, spine, buttocks, calves, heels, soles of the feet. Sense the whole body from the top of the head to the tips of the toes. The whole body. Feel the whole body contained in vast, spacious awareness. Imagine yourself walking through a field of green and golden grass. The sun is shining. A cool breeze wafts through the air. Birds are calling sweetly from the trees. You come to a well in a field of flowers. There's a lovely fragrance in the air, and butterflies play follow the leader amongst themselves. Visualize yourself going down the well. Use whatever means you find necessary to do this. The bottom of the well is dark but from a tunnel there comes a faint light. Enter that tunnel. It goes down a slope, around a corner, up another slope, then turns back on itself. You come into a big cave. There is a flaming light. Go over to that light and inspect it more closely. Within the light is a golden egg, very, very small, bright, golden egg. From the golden egg, 3 streams of light project towards you. One to the left eye, one to the right eye, and one to the eyebrow center. Gaze steadily at the golden egg and become aware of these streams of light. Now, leave the golden egg and go back through the cave. Go quickly up the well and out into the field of golden grass. Once again, feel the warmth of the sun and the cool breeze blowing on your face. Bring your attention to the center between your eyebrows and drop into the deepest level of relaxation. Here there remains nothing to do or achieve. You have entered the domain of grace. In this domain of integration, you are witness of all that is happening, but doing nothing to make it happen. Feel completely safe and comfortable as you hand yourself over to the power and protection of the presence. Feel yourself as time transcendent presence right now. Here, your intention and affirmations are actualized and fulfilled with effortless ease. Now bring your intention into your awareness, repeating it to yourself silently 3 times. If you do not have an intention, just remain silent and let Spirit, who knows what is best, do it for you. Allow it to go to the deepest levels of recognition with no hesitation. Know that your higher self recognizes, honors, and accepts your intention. Have faith and trust that it has been heard and is being acted upon by a higher power of the source within you. Bring your attention back to the center between the eyebrows and feel all the energies of your body from all meridians activated, purified, and balanced. Establish yourself firmly in faith and trust to receive the grace, protection, and guidance of the higher self within you. The more often you go to your source, the easier it will be to return there, and the longer you can stay there. Feel the presence of your own spiritual guides surrounding you and blessing you. Accept their blessing and grace, embody it, and spread it wherever you go. You are the emissary of light and love. Carry it everywhere you go and to everyone you meet. If you have an area that you feel needs healing, physical, mental, or emotional, allow this light and love to flow into that area now. Now begin to become aware of the rising and falling of the breath. Slowly feel yourself beginning to rise to the surface of awareness. Sense the body resting on the floor, the quality of the air as it touches the skin. Gradually, you can move if you are waking from a restful sleep. If you want, bending the knees, pulling them close to the chest, and rocking sideways, gently to release the low back. Take your time. Do not hurry. Bring your intention into your awareness again. Change nothing. Every time you find yourself in reaction, you are empowered to replace it with your intention. Regardless of what you consciously recognize that has or has not changed, Know that something deep within has shifted to connect you with your intention. Become aware of your body. Bring a deep sense of peace and contentment with you as you bring attention back to the body. Notice how relaxed the body is, how soft the breath is, how silent the mind is, how quiet the heartbeat is. Be still and be grateful. Know that you can easily enter here again and again by remembering this feeling. This brings us to the end of our meditation. I pray you have a blessed day and a blessed week. And sorry about the frogs in my throat. They were beyond my control there for a few minutes. Thank you for joining. Thanks, Greg. Appreciate it very much.